You're just minutes away from Eyewitness News tonight. Our own Ryan Owens will have a live report from Birmingham, Alabama, where one of the most powerful tornadoes hit hard last night. Plus, some local businesses say the big tobacco deal might snuff out their sales. And an eye on health, how the FDA tests what you take.
From Channel 3, coverage you can count on. This is Eyewitness News Tonight.
Tornadoes swept through the southeast last night, but the hardest hit Birmingham, Alabama, where an F5, the strongest type of tornado, leveled buildings, homes, and even cars. More than 30 people were killed, and the survivors are still suffering from shock. Here in the Tennessee Valley, some organizations are helping the tornado victims in Alabama and Georgia. The Salvation Army is accepting monetary donations right now. You can send them to the Salvation Army at 800 McCauley Avenue, Chattanooga. Zip code is 37403. And don't forget to write on your donations tornado relief and specify for which state. Also, the phone number there is 756-1023. And the Samaritan Center is also accepting cash and other essential items for the tornado survivors. You can drop off donations in Ottawa during the week between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. and on Sunday from 1 until 4 in the afternoon. Call 238-7777 if you need to arrange any after-hour drop-offs. We will have more on the tornadoes in Birmingham with a live report from Ryan Owens just as soon as we get it. A Bradley County man will stand trial for the murder of his infant son and the abuse of his young daughter. 27-year-old Edward Robinson Jr. was in court today facing charges he murdered his infant son nearly 3 years ago and also abused his young daughter last year. Cleveland Police Detective Eric Hampton started his investigation nearly a year and a half ago. He says the Robinsons took their 7-month-old daughter to the hospital with skull fractures and could not explain how the injuries happened. That's when he began looking into the possibility the first child didn't die by accident, but rather at the hands of his father.
There's no winners in this case. Both sides of the family are devastated.
Because I know my brother, you know, and nobody should know a brother like his own blood, you know. I know he's not capable of this event.
This case goes to criminal court next month. A Cleveland police officer was found guilty today of driving under the influence in November of '96. Officer Robert Goldston drove through a stop sign and hit another car at the intersection. After the charges were first placed, Goldston was placed on administrative leave from the force. Now that the criminal case is complete, Captain Tommy McLean says an internal investigation will be completed to see if Goldston will continue working as a Cleveland police officer. No word yet on when he will be sentenced for the DUI verdict. Chattanooga police say they have a possible suspect in a series of break-ins at a Brainerd business complex. Burglars broke into 10 offices at the Heritage Business Courts off Lee Highway last night. The crooks threw papers all over the floor, busted cabinets, and took several items. They entered the building by busting down the back doors. 3 businesses here have alarm systems, but police were never notified. The culprits passed by the ones with alarms. Only a few things of value were taken from the offices. Police say the crooks overlooked a money bag containing $300. And a Chattanooga woman came home from vacation only to find her home ransacked. Karen Drew came back Monday to find her door kicked in and her belongings stacked and piled, ready to be carted out the door. But the worst part of all is that the burglars made themselves at home, leaving empty cans of food on the floor and a razor and shavings on the mantel. But detectives say Drew made the classic mistake many homeowners make when they go on vacation. She didn't notify her neighbors, and she left her mail piling up in the mailbox. Detectives say the case is still open and under investigation. Well, the Southeast is just starting to clean up after devastating tornadoes blasted across the area. Locally, we saw some damage and hundreds of power outages, but it was nothing in comparison to what happened in Birmingham, Alabama, where the strongest tornado stayed on the ground for 20 miles. People there are still trying to recover from the shock and start cleaning up. Our own Ryan Owens has been in Birmingham today and joins us tonight now with more. Ryan, what's happening there now?
Well, Cindy, tonight police are trying to block off the area of most of the damage to keep looters away. As you know, in these disasters, often looters are there just to add insult to injury. So the best we can show you tonight to give you an idea of the power of this storm is some of these mangled cars you see there behind me. That is just a hint of the force of this storm, a storm that as of tonight has claimed the lives of 32 people. That is a staggering number. But when you talk to the survivors of last night's storm, you realize how much higher that death toll could have been. Larry Woodall saved his family from this bomb. They hid in the bathroom.
And then I laid on top of him, and then the whole thing just exploded. But
Larry couldn't save his home of 25 years, a house where the ceiling is now the sky.
I'm 22 years old. This house I've lived in all my life. It's hard. It was destroyed in 5 minutes.
Tonight, this family covers their few belongings on the front yard, a small pile 25 years in the making. But at least they have something. One of their neighbor's front steps now leads nowhere.
I can't believe we were in there. Can't believe it.
A few miles away, Dixie McCain looks at her church. She and about 70 others were worshiping here last night.
For about 90 seconds, it was just utter chaos. The noise of the metal ripping, the top of the building coming off, and it sounded as if a plane was coming in.
Christy, oh my gosh, look, how did they live through this?
The church is gone. The faith is not.
Got it? I think so.
Worshippers salvage this banner from the wreckage. They also find a clock, the hand stuck at 8:20.
And we're not here by accident. We're here for a reason, and he's going to let us stay here a little while longer.
Amen.
Stay and start to pick up.
You know, where do you pick up? Where do you begin? Where do you go on? Nobody out here knows.
But the Woodall family is already talking about rebuilding. So is the church here. The members already have their Easter Sunday service planned for the front lawn. That is the latest from right outside Birmingham, Alabama. I'm Ryan Owens. Cindy, back to you.
Ryan, you and I both remember too well, like most of the people here in Chattanooga, the East Brainerd tornadoes just about a year ago. From what you saw at East Brainerd and what you're seeing there in Birmingham, how does this compare?
Well, the staggering thing, Cindy, is the death toll of 32 as of tonight. Of course, we were so fortunate last year, Easter weekend, to have no fatalities. The devastation is much the same, millions and millions of dollars in damage. Of course, the big difference, though, is the death toll. Cindy.
All right, Ryan, thank you. The deal between the tobacco industry and Congress has gone up in smoke, and small area businesses that sell a lot of cigarettes say their clientele could be snuffed out. Tobacco growers in Carrollton, Kentucky are also nervous. President Clinton was in the town that calls itself Tobacco Land USA today. Clinton said any deal with tobacco companies would include support for the growers. But tobacco farmers aren't convinced. They say their future looks bleak. Latrice Curry visited a small convenience store here earlier today, and how will this impact them?
Well, Cindy, they're afraid that this is going to hurt them where it hurts the most, right in the pocketbook. They say that higher cigarette prices could eventually put them out of business.
If the prices of these cigarettes go up, employees at this East Main Street convenience store say their business will go down.
And the smaller stores, like I said, that do not have gas are really going to be in for a squeeze.
Congress and the tobacco industry have put businesses like this one in a bind. Charlie's Quick Stop relies heavily on the sale of tobacco products. 4 tobacco companies, including industry giant Philip Morris, have waged war against Congress. They backed out of a deal that would place tougher restrictions on advertising and raise the price